a little chilly out here, and it is a late daily cup of tea, which has changed from a cup of tea to a Coke Zero. And I got to put it in a fancy glass because my life is that boring. It's going to make me happier. I've had a long day. I did not finish working on work stuff. Not that you guys need to hear this, but I want you to know that I'm working hard. Started with working on stuff online, answering emails around 7:30. I did not get off of the computer until 4 o'clock when I went for a walk. So even though I'm usually work that long, sitting and working on a computer for that long was utterly exhausting. And then when you're actually learning new technology or trying to use new technology and getting frustrated by it, it just compounds the problem. So, once again, like I'm reminded of when I go through staff trainings, I was once again reminded of how soul crushing it sometimes is to go through the doldrums of a day sitting at a computer, which is why you guys probably notice in the regular classroom that I don't use the computers every day, like have you guys use them. I just couldn't imagine going and sitting in a room with a bunch of people and just sitting there on a computer the whole time and not engaging with at least the instructor or hopefully the other people in that room. So that's kind of where I've been down and out today. It's cold out here, so I have a blanket. It's not that I'm turning into a hermit, although I could do that. I would be so happy living in a little hobbit hole in the side of a hill right now with no worries, and I just go out and eat like 8 times a day and never leave the Shire. Oh wait, that is my life right now, except the work part. So really, we're all a bunch of hobbits. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to get cultured and learn about the Hobbit. Like, you could even just Google that and understand my references I'm making. Technology is a beautiful thing. So anyway, no special shirt today because I had that on earlier today, and then I went on a walk in it, and it got all schmutty. So it was a T-shirt for the book One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So that was my cool graphic tee for today, but it's already gone, and I'm just sitting here contemplating life and existence. And I'm going to eat some leftover ice cream cake from my son's birthday. So there's that, because, look at these layers. Speaking of a hobbit. Yeah, I'm going to be munching on this in a minute after the video. It's going to be great. It's like the highlight of my day. So yeah, after working on the computer for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, almost 9 hours. Yeah, it's pretty done. And then, coworkers needing help with stuff, and then looking at working on my grad school class, which by the way is online. I just barely finished watching the intro video for this week, and I didn't look at it yesterday, which is when my week actually starts for my grad school class, because I was just so busy yesterday and didn't want to do it, and it was my son's birthday. So then I was like, okay, Tuesday night I'll do that. I go on it tonight after a day like I had. I was completely deflated. I have a presentation I have to get ready this week for that class, using 10 different topics that all have research on the 10 different topics. Historical events in literacy, exciting stuff. So I've been researching it the whole time, but not really reading all the articles. I've just been kind of skimming them, collecting them, and now I have to put it all together in a PowerPoint and sound like I know what I'm talking about. No big deal. I'll throw that together. That's what I do. But it's still stressing me out a bit. Especially since this week's a transition week to actually getting you guys to do some work. Crazy, I know. Supposed to get more answers tomorrow at the staff meeting. Staff meeting is supposed to have some answers, I think, about grading. I'm hearing is coming into play. So I'm hoping to email everybody out tomorrow about that. There are still some flip grids out there. So AP kids, I asked you to try out. And here's the thing. Flipgrid is supposed to be fun, not supposed to be feeling like you're doing an assignment. Let's be honest. It's supposed to be like the educational Snapchat-ish type of thing. Okay. It's not as cool. I know that. And I know it's not as cool as like doing a TikTok. I get it. I mean, if you want to answer your prompt and do a dance while you're doing your response to the Flipgrid, go for it. But please put a shirt on first and make sure you don't have any paraphernalia in the background, anything in the camera thing that could get you in trouble, things like that. I say that, but it's so true. I need to say it. So there are those. So AP Kids, yours is pretty simple. It was introduce yourself. And I know that might sound silly, but I combined both AP classes in the Flipgrid to make it easy. So you have people from the other class period. Some of them you may know, and some you may have never met in your life. So that's why I have you introduce yourself with your name, and then one interesting thing about yourself, and finally what you've been doing during this isolation period. And my hint to you, my tip was maybe something that is new that you're learning or doing, whatever that is. So that was kind of the challenge I threw out there. Part of that is also to see if I like Flipgrid. It's a new technology that I've heard about before. Mr. Mybury shared it with me before, but I've never used it with classes. But it's a cool concept. I can also create like a montage of your guys' video submissions. That's called a mixtape. So yeah, throwing it way back. 10th graders, you have 2 Flipgrids now. You have the first one, which is the intro one that I emailed out first, where you introduce yourself, same thing that AP had. But your new one for this week is telling me everything you know about argument and what is the difference between arguing and argument. And that's because our last unit for 10th graders is argument. It's the big one that we were working our way up to. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm working with the other 10th grade teachers on weekly lesson plans. And I sent out an email today just about my calendar for 10th grade and how that's going to work, that I'm going to push work out on Mondays and it's going to be due by Thursday. I'll have office hours for each class period, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays based on your class period, where you can come on to Microsoft Teams if you choose to and talk to me and ask me any questions about the assignment. So I'll be there for that. If you don't show up, it's not a big deal. But we're supposed to start taking attendance next week. And so these activities I'm doing is to try to re-engage you guys so you don't get a bunch of calls from a bunch of administrators wondering where you're at. All your teachers have to see if you're engaging and being a part of class and making contact with us. And if they get a list of people, supposedly I've heard that then admin is going to be making contact with those families that we're not hearing from. And part of that is to make sure they have what they need and everything's okay. So just be aware of that. That's just one thing I do know about, is that I'll be tracking attendance and putting that in by Fridays. So you have to engage before then. So our due date is on Thursday for assignments. And we thought that would be helpful because it would also give us time as teachers to look over your stuff on Friday and submit those attendance reports on whether we talked to you, emailed with you, or you did your assignment. So your teacher should be reaching out to you about that. If not, I hope they do after tomorrow's staff meeting. And they might be waiting for that so they don't inundate you with a bunch of emails. So have fun creating your Flipgrids. You can totally not show your face. I've seen some creative ones before. Some people like putting something up to the screen, up to the camera, so they can't see it like a picture. Just make sure it's all school appropriate. Some kids are using you can do like a chalkboard feature that's either a black or a whiteboard. And you can actually put like a little emojis on there and stuff. So you totally don't have to show your face if you're not comfortable with it first. Of course, I love seeing your face because it makes it much more personal. The other thing I would ask you to do is go watch each other's Flipgrids. You can record a response to them, your own video back. Say hi to your classmates. Pick somebody who's had nobody respond to their video and find something to reply about them. You might make somebody's day or week or year. Some people are pretty down and out during this time, and you never know what little things you do could really help them out. Last but not least, well, not last, this isn't last because we know I have my tradition that I always do last. My last piece of advice is, and I've said this before, is to help your family. Parents get really stressed out. I know that because I'm a parent. So take it from me. I know I'm just your stupid English teacher, but it's really nice when, especially teenagers in a household, pitch in when things are rough without having to be asked to do that. Having to ask all the time gets exhausting. And when your parents come home from work, if they're working right now and are, lucky to have a job, but that is stressful to be working while your kids are home. If they're working, do something nice for them. Like, if you're not doing this already, like cleaning up all your stuff that you've gotten out during the day and putting it away. And then going the next step and maybe doing something nice like making dinner or cleaning out something that's theirs or working on something else in the house. Taking care of something they've nagged you about for a long time. And they may not notice it, but they may. So that's kind of my life advice for you, is find a way to help out directly or indirectly, whether they know about it or not. And you might make your parents a little bit happier and a little bit more patient with you. Okay, so no, the last thing isn't me eating my cake in front of you. This isn't April Fool's Day. The last thing, of course, is my favorite, which is 14,000 things to be cynical about. So we're going to flip through here, and I'm going to point randomly and talk about whatever it is. I'll tell you if it makes me happy or not. Now, remember, this is all subjective. So some of these things might make some of you happy, but I have a hard time getting happy over them. Plus, because I'm very sarcastic and, cynical, if you haven't noticed. All right. So today's. By the way, if you don't know the time, it's 7:26 p.m. Yeah, this is like the latest one I've ever done. Daily evenings of Coke Zero with Mrs. T. It doesn't quite have a ring to it. Yeah, let's not do this again. I'm exhausted. I'll be in bed by 9 o'clock like an old lady. That's like me. Last night, it was 9:30. I went to bed. 9:30. Yeah, I was tired. I'm tired right now. I feel like I could go to bed right now. 7:30. I'm so old. Okay, here we go. Not going to look. Here we go. Here it is. Wrinkle-resistant clothes. Amen. Hallelujah. We finally got one. That is what the world needs more of. Nobody needs to spend time ironing clothes out. Who has time for that? I mean, it's enough if I'll just grab a blouse and take it into the bathroom with me while I shower, hoping that the steam from the shower somehow gets those wrinkles to drop out of it. I mean, seriously, can they just make all clothes wrinkle resistant? I mean, that's a selling point for me when I'm like trying to buy a nice shirt for my husband and like I'm at Costco because that's where I do most of his clothes shopping anymore. Don't tell him. No, he knows. If it says wrinkle resistant, iron free, I'm like, sold. And even if it's like still will get a little bit of wrinkle, if it's not like as, the difference in wrinkled clothing, if it at least withstands most of it, then that's gold. I mean, don't get me wrong. Something that's freshly ironed is magnificent. It's crisp, it's lovely, it has that great smell. I mean, there's just something about ironed clothing. I just don't like doing it. Never have. You end up having one little wrinkle right on some edge somewhere. I'm just not good at it. And I know they say practice makes perfect. I've had enough practice, okay? It's not happening. I wish I made enough money that I could just pay someone to do my laundry. Like I could drop it all off somewhere. Someone would do it and drop it off at my house. There's rich people that do that. Yes, I don't know who they are, but they do. And it's not me. I'm always hauling my laundry up and down the stairs all day. That's like one of those things, like if you win the lottery, what would you do with it? Like I do all the charitable stuff, like give that away. But like, what's one thing you would like do a treat yourself with? I think getting a house cleaner and maybe someone to do my laundry. Those would be too big. I mean, I'd probably do that before I bought a new house. Like I would seriously invest in having someone take those things off my list that I hate, that I absolutely hate. I wouldn't want the person to live with me, not like a live-in housekeeper. Just like maybe someone stops by like once a week and does the basics. Oh, that'd be nice. My mom used to clean houses when I was going to school, and that's what she did while we were at school. That was like her job. And she would just had a few houses that she did for people that lived nearby. And I remember having to go help her with that. One time she had this doctor whose house she cleaned, and and the lady she usually cleaned with was sick, and so that's why she took me to help her. And it was like during the summer. So she's like, well, I'll pay you. And I don't know if my mom gave me an even cut or not. I really didn't deserve an even cut because my mom's way better at cleaning than I am and a lot faster. But I went and helped her, and I just remember they had these stairs that were carpeted that like wound up. And I just remember with the vacuum, and we didn't have Dyson like little vacuums back then. We had like the canister separate with the hose and the stick thingy, that's the technical term. And I just remember trying to vacuum those stairs and get the attachments on it and try to haul this thing up every few steps. And my mom would tell me the faster way to do it. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I still don't like that. But it is an honest living to make. I mean, it is hard work and not paid as much as it should be, probably. I mean, it is back-breaking work to clean somebody's house. And I bet there's all kinds of horror stories that housekeepers could tell you about cleaning up other people's garbage. And even just the maintenance stuff, even if you're just going in to wash toilets, ew, like, seriously, if you have someone that cleans your house and does that, like if your mom cleans the toilets, your dad cleans the toilets all the time and you never have to, you should be giving them a tip every time you go to the bathroom. Like there should be a tip jar above the toilet, and when you're done using it, you should drop a quarter in there. And at the end of the month, whoever cleans, no, you should clean it more than once a month. End of the week, whoever cleans the toilet gets to keep that money. This is a brilliant idea. I think this could go far. This would change lives. And then if you have a housekeeper that comes in and cleans, they get that as like an added bonus. Like, we're sorry you have to clean up our literal excrement stuff. Like, seriously, we're really sorry. Here's our tip jar. And if we use it more often, the more tips there are going to be. This should be a social norm. This has got to change. I'm going to start making some jars. They're going to be, what's a clever name? I think someone needs to come up with a clever name for what label we'd put on that jar. It would have to say like, take a piss, leave a piece of change. Or make a deposit in the toilet, make a deposit here. It needs to rhyme. It needs to have some alliteration. It needs something creative and artsy. I'll come up with it. I'll have an idea by tomorrow. I'll be thinking about it all night. I'll actually probably tomorrow be in the shower and like it will hit me like lightning of this idea of the name. And that will be my $1 million idea. Oh, wait, I won't make money off of it, will I? Not really. I'll be Pinterest famous. Yeah, we'll start a movement, not a bowel movement. Okay, I think I need to eat my cake now. AP, I think I sent you guys out an email yesterday. Yeah, yesterday explaining grades, and another one earlier in the day about our other flip grid and reminder. 10th graders, you're going to be getting an email from me tomorrow, but you also got 10th graders got one today. You guys got one about the new flip grid today. But I think everyone will probably get one tomorrow. I'm sorry for all the emails, but it's this weird transition week, and we just keep getting bits of information going on. So everyone will probably get one from me tomorrow about grading and what next week will look like, just as reminders. But 10th graders, you guys did get a schedule for the rest of the year, like what your weeks will look like. 10th graders, I also already invited you to our Teams meetings. Remember, those are optional, but it should have sent you an email with a link to join that meeting. And in the email, it told you which day of the week and what time those are set for. So, and it should be pretty clear for you. If it's not, email me, let me know. So have a lovely day. Evening. Maybe it's too late to tell you to have a good one. No, there's a lot of time left. So enjoy your time, however much it is, before you go night-night. And I will see you on the flip side. May the force be with you and the odds be ever in your favor. Cha cha.